Welcome back to the Taproom Exclusive. I'm Dean Zarbaugh. I'm here at Working Class Brewery with Rick Skains and Carmen Russoniello. I got it right that time. It's almost like I get paid to do this. Thank you guys for being here. We have moved on to the Bank Boss, which is a Belgian triple. And fantastic. I was telling Carmen before we went on air, this is a dangerous beer.
Absolutely.
It's what, 8.5%?
8.5%.
And it doesn't drink like it.
No, it's, that's the way a lot of Belgian beers are. If they start to get a little warm, we can always put them under pressure during the fermentation to really soften those alcohols. But, no, that beer is very close to my heart because I used to travel to Belgium a handful of years in a row. And I would go to a festival called Zythos over there.
Okay.
And, I'd get up on a Sunday morning and all I would drink were triples.
Nice.
Just one triple to another.
That's
and,
a good Sunday.
When you do that type of thing, especially at the source, you really figure out what works for a particular style and what doesn't, or maybe what you prefer. So ours is really modeled more after the Chimay. It's not a big 10% sticky triple.
Yeah.
It has a little finish hop in the end, and that keeps the beer, as it ages, it keeps the beer nice and drinkable.
What, getting into the flavor a little bit, what notes do you people get when you're drinking this? I'm still new. I keep saying this in every episode. Listeners might be tired of hearing this. I'm still new to breaking down flavors, so I'm going to let the professional do it.
Well, in the Belgian triple, we're typically looking for kind of a little orangey, spicy, fruity flavor. And like I said, I just prefer them on the lighter side and drinkable.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to have just one and feel like you're going to have to sleep the rest of the day.
Well,
you want to be able to have a couple and still be able to
That's the way most beers should be.
Exactly. There's been this big push towards super big ABVs and everything. How high can we get it in ABV? And it's just make a quality product. Just make something drinkable.
Those are,
like we say in our industry, there's not much fusel alcohols.
Right.
It's not hot.
It's not a big boozy beer, but when you talk about those other beers that are so big and boozy, those have a place. They have They have a place with your spouse when you can only have one.
Right.
I'm only having one tonight, honey. So make it a big one.
Exactly. You have to at that point. Well, this is a fantastic Belgian. What was it that drew you to Belgium to actually go and travel there and kind of year after year?
Just the plethora of styles and interpretations. The Belgians don't stick to style guidelines like the Americans do.
Right.
Their attitude is we're just going to make what we make and we'll describe it the way it is, and you can like it or not like it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to fit in a style.
Yeah.
So
when you make quality product like that, you can have that attitude.
They're very creative brewers, and they don't worry about copying other style, other people, and having to fit into a box.
Yeah.
So, and that's really cool.
I that's one of the places I really want to go to. I've never traveled to Europe. That's one place Belgium is specifically one of the places I really want to go to, specifically because I like where a lot of the beer that originates from there. It's really nice beer. And when you were there, you're drinking these on Sundays, and you're like, you know what? I want to make one of these. Did you ever do one before you were here at Working Class? Did you ever do a homebrew version?
That's a good question. I'm pretty sure I would come back and homebrew it, and I knew the places I had worked before that I wasn't really happy with the beers, and I kind of had a feeling that they probably weren't like that at the source.
Gotcha.
I think Americans have a habit of overdoing certain characteristics. We exaggerate everything, and as with most styles, they're just more drinkable at the source too. And then you discover what really makes that style work.
Yeah.
Even things that have shipped across the pond. You don't really get a good idea of what really makes that beer tick unless you go there.
That's like I want to go to Cologne to experience
absolutely.
Kolsch's.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I love Kolsch. It's a very underrated style here. I think a lot of great breweries are making some great Kolsch's here, Kolsch styles here. That's one of the main. I really want to get there and see what a true Cologne Kolsch drinks like.
There's some
you
that
know?
are just not. You can't even repeat them. They're so ridiculously drinkable that the beer's gone before the waiter walks away.
Well, that's how that's kind of how I feel about yours, about your triple.
Thank you.
When you asked Carmen, like when you, dang it, I have to get it back tonight. Uber. Today's show is sponsored by Uber. Ask Carmen, like I drank this, and the first thing I told him was it was a dangerous beer. Same thing I told you. It was dangerous beer because I was like, wow, that's 8.5. That does not taste like that. Is such a crushable 8.5. That how, without giving away too much, I'm not trying to ask for secrets, but how what brings that out? Like how do you make an 8.5 beer that drinkable?
Some sugar, lighten the body.
Okay, nice.
Keep the fermentation temperature from not getting too high.
And does that help bump the ABV a little bit too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I said, I'm still new, so that kind of stuff. I'm really a novice on the brewing side.
Yeah,
so if I ask a dumb question, I apologize.
Oh no, we use a good chunk of invert sugar in there, and then a little bit of corn sugar. And that really does lighten the body of the beer.
It's really nice. I also had the Hefeweizen, which is really nice. We were, before we went on, it was Carmen had me choose between the Belgian or the Hefeweizen to feature. I kind of wanted to feature both of them, to be honest, because they were both fantastic. It was really hard for me to pick a favorite between the two of those. And like Carmen was saying about this, the Hefeweizen, is it doesn't really hit you in the face with that banana clove. It's a nice, subtle flavor in there.
Right.
Easy drinker too.
When I fell in love with that style, it was all about the clove.
Right.
I'm not a big banana person, and so, we do things to drive the clove out. And that's another beer that I've been to Europe a handful of times to find the best.
The source.
And just really figure out what I like and what I want to emulate.
I've had a few imports that we can get, on the store shelves or whatnot, but this is such a good style that I know that I need to get over there and actually try it over there to really get a fresh tasting of it, to really get an idea of what this style means over there.
And one year I had rented an RV and just kind of went around Germany, and I came back with at least 27 different wheat beers.
Oh, wow.
Had a tasting in my backyard.
I have a lot of German stuff in my basement, in my grandparents' basement. My grandfather was stationed in Germany during the Cold War, during Khrushchev's whole slamming a shoe on the table type thing, and so we have German Steins and stuff downstairs, but he was a macro brew guy, mainly that he would drink a Dortmunder or something every once in a while. But I never heard him talk about Hefeweizen and stuff, and I really would have liked to have had him try this because I think he would really like it. But he talked a lot about Germany and the fun he had there, and it just seems like everybody who's gone there has had a ton of fun. And I mean, how couldn't you when you're surrounded by this kind of beer?
Absolutely.
What was your, outside of the beer, what was your favorite part of traveling over there?
Man, I got the castles. I love going to some of the castles.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The architecture and everything out there is just so amazing. Going back to the Bank Boss real quick, something food-wise that if anybody wanted to come in and Belgians are a little bit, the triples are a little bit necessarily harder to kind of pair with.
We've had the pierogi lady here a couple times.
Oh, yeah,
makes her fresh pierogies. We've had polka nights, and she's actually used the Bank Boss.
Oh, nice.
To steep bratwurst in.
Oh, wow.
And then chop up and make a bratwurst. Belgian Tripel Bank Boss, Bank Boss Belgian Tripel bratwurst pierogi with it. Highly recommend that.
Yeah. I'm going to be calling up and ordering some of those
I would
special. That sounds really good.
I would imagine any sort of German, Eastern Europe or Eastern European food would pair well with this, of course.
Yeah.
Lighter foods, cheeses, meat, nice cheeses, always good. French breads, cheeses, spreads.
And it's such a good beer that it won't overpower most anything that you're eating. So
it's not cloying. It's very clean on the palate.
Yeah.
It's an easy drinking beer. We limit it to 2 10-ounce pours per customer,
right,
for a reason.
Absolutely.
Because we want you coming back to enjoy more.
Absolutely. You have a responsibility, and at this point, and as easy drinking as this is, that's a very good rule to kind of have on things. You can get ahead of yourself with it.
We do the same with our bourbon aged imperial stout. It's called Boilermaker.
Nice.
We limit you to 2 10-ounce pours.
Yeah.
We want you coming back.
That's smart. Yeah, absolutely. That's smart business sense, and it seems everybody in this craft beer world, that's what we want. It's all about smart, being responsible with that and all that, and that's what I really love about this industry is how much they really care about people and making sure you get to come back. Like you were saying.
Please come back.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get going here. Is there anything I missed about this that you wanted to cover?
We do have a version of the Bank Boss coming out in the near future that's been aged in wild turkey barrels.
Ooh, I will be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned to their social media for info on that. That sounds like it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. Tune in next week for another all-new episode of the Taproom Exclusive.